Stacy's mom has got it going on. Stacy's, I don't know the rest of the words, but it's stuck in my head. And I think it means I like my hair today because my hair is like really mom-esque. I feel like I look like a mom today, but like Stacy's mom. Just unsubscribe at this point. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Dominique Davis, also known as Brown and Bendy, and here on this channel we practice flexibility of the mind, the body, and the spirit. I did not plan on what I was going to say to open this video, so I love you guys. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for commenting. Thank you for being in my life. You guys make my life so much better. Not that my life wasn't good before, but you just make my life better. I know I'm not the greatest at answering comments and answering emails, but there are a lot, and I'm not great at deciding who to comment to and who not to, so I tend to just favorite comments, but just know that I do read the comments and I do love you guys so much. Also, pregnancy update, I am 13 weeks and my baby's really cute. Yeah. So today's video is going to be all about detaching from the idea of having your desires so that you may live your life and not resist bringing your manifestation into your reality. So let's just start from the very beginning. When you decide that you want something for yourself or for your life, whether this is a material thing or whether this is an event that you would like to occur, you have two options. The first option is saying, I want this, and then figuring out every different way that you can will this desire into your existence. I am very familiar with willing desires into my existence, okay? And what we will call this is solo creation. So this is when you look for every opportunity to make your desire happen despite the vibration that those opportunities put you in. This is when honestly you become like a vibrational opportunist. Does that make sense? Or when you just look for each and every way that you can make it happen on your own. You try to meet the right people, you try to be in the right place at the right time, you do everything that you can to make your manifestation happen. So that's the first thing, the first option after you decide that you have a desire. The second option, the second door that you can choose is understanding that you have a desire, defining what parts of this desire are your responsibility, and having a deep understanding of what parts of this desire are out of your control. And this is co-creation. Because when you understand that certain parts of your desire are out of your control, you subconsciously open yourself up to letting divine intervention intervene and help you on your journey. You guys don't know how much I need this water, but I'm not gonna go get it because then I'll be out of focus and I don't know how to get back into focus. So the things I do for you guys. The example I want to use for this video is publishing a book. Let's say that you're writing a book and your manifestation, your desire is for this book to be on the New York Times bestsellers list. You want to sell 1 million copies. That's what you're trying to manifest. What parts of writing this book and publishing this book, what parts of this is in your control? What parts of this are in your control? One thing that I used to see a lot when I was a social media consultant was a lot of bypassing this process. For example, using the book. Let's say that someone came to me and they wanted me to create a social media account for their book. If I were talking to them, they would tell me how many followers they wanted to have on the account, how the types of connections that they wanted to make through the account. And I'd be like, well, that's all well and good. And then I'd be like, is the book finished? And they'd be like, no. This is an example. I'm not trying to give anyone's business, but I just want to stay in the realm of publishing a book. So, when writing a book that you want to be on the New York Times bestsellers list, what is your responsibility? Attracting how many people buy the book? Is that your responsibility? Or is writing a book that is valuable to millions of people your responsibility? I'm telling you guys, if I didn't consult for people for so long, I would not have this perspective. But I just realized that this is a step that a lot of people want to jump over because they just see the end goal and they want to skip all the steps that are necessary to get there. So again, recapping on this first point, when you decide that you have a desire, you have one of two options. The first option is you can try to do everything in your power to make this manifestation as quickly as possible, or you can sit down, take the time to understand what parts of this process are your responsibility and what parts of this process you are leaving up to the universe. Let's talk about doubt. So, doubt takes up so much mental space. You want to publish this amazing book, and then you're writing the book, and you start a chapter, and then you start to think, this chapter is irrelevant to anyone, or the scenario that I'm talking about in this book is stupid, or I don't like these characters, no one's going to relate to these characters, and or even worse, am I smart enough to be writing a book? Are people going to make fun of me for my creative ideas? All this doubt that starts seeping in. Okay, so I don't know what kind of mood I am in. I can't tell you guys, but doubt. It takes up mental space. When all these thoughts start to come up, our minds are not infinite. Okay, our minds are finite. What we can create is infinite, but our mind only has so much space. Our mind only has so much space. So if you choose to lean into doubtful thoughts, and when I say choose, the first two thoughts may not be full of doubt, or the first two thoughts may be doubtful, but they might be results of triggers, right? So you can't really see them coming. But after those first two thoughts, you can make a choice to be like, I don't know what my brain's trying to do, but we're gonna nip this in the bud. You can decide to do that, or law of attraction, if you think a couple of negative thoughts, more negative thoughts will come because that's just what your brain's starting to do. So if you think one negative thought then another, it'll be easier for your brain to continue to think of doubtful thoughts. So that's why it's important to recognize when a doubtful thought comes so you could say, hey, this is not the road I'm walking down today. And so you can tell yourself that, bring it all back to worthiness, right? Whatever you're doubting, bring it all back to worthiness. I deserve to write this book. My perspective is worth being displayed, and I have faith that the right people will be attracted to this book. Learning to combat doubtful thoughts with thoughts that serve you and thoughts that also help you be your own best friend. Doubt is ultimately fear, disguised as a million and one different things, but disguised as jealousy, anger, insecurity, and resentment. But all of these things are basically fear. So when doubtful thoughts come up regarding your manifestation, you don't have to you don't have to psychoanalyze yourself and understand where all the doubt is coming from. But sometimes you can find a little bit of peace in knowing that when the doubt comes up, it's just your brain being afraid of something, and sometimes that's just expansion. You know, if you write a book, no matter how the book does, you wrote a book. You're a big deal. And maybe your ego is afraid of expanding into being a person who wrote a book. It happens. Our ego is like for us to stay the same. So whenever you are really applying yourself to your manifestation and really committing yourself, when the doubtful thoughts come up, be kind to yourself. It's just a little bit of fear, and that's natural. It's normal. But what are you going to do after you identify those thoughts? Are you going to roll with the thoughts, or are you going to challenge the thoughts? I promise we are getting to how to detach, but this is all a part of it, okay? I can never give you guys a one sentence answer. You detach by letting go. No. Okay, let's get to the next point. Let's talk about expectations. My life changed When I learned that when I'm visualizing and when I'm seeing myself manifesting something, I'm supposed to be paying attention to the vibration that that visualization makes me feel. I'm not supposed to record how this visualization looks in my mind and then expect the visualization to transfer directly into my physical world. Because if I do that, and then I don't see proof of my mental visualization in my real world, I can start to doubt myself, doubt my ideas, doubt the universe. So instead, while visualizing, I have learned to tap into the vibration that I ultimately want to hold. How does my manifestation make me feel? That's how I want to feel. And then I would lean into activities and thoughts that allow me to continue to hold that vibration. Ultimately, what I am saying is you want to become accustomed to the vibration of your manifestation, how having your manifestation would make you feel. Understand the vibration of what you are attracting, not the mental image of it. You're not looking for a specific thing in your physical world because we create our realities through our mind. Okay? So when that thing does manifest, it is going to make you feel the way that you want it to make you feel if you become more accustomed to that vibration. The more accustomed you come to that vibration, the easier it is for you to attract things in that vibration. But if you keep looking in your physical world for proof of how you think this manifestation should look, you're honestly distracting yourself. Because very rarely do our manifestations look exactly the way we visualize them. Because that's just a part of the co-creation. So if you're publishing a book and you upload the book to Amazon and you say, I want to sell 1 million copies, and a week goes by and you've sold 0 copies, you have 2 choices. You can say, I've sold 0 copies. This is not what selling 1 million copies looks like. I'm a failure. Or you can understand the vibration of what it would feel like to sell 1 million copies and continue to practice feeling that vibration, allowing your mind to open to different ideas and different opportunities that align with that vibration. You didn't sell any copies, but maybe somebody heard of your book and they want you on their podcast. To somebody looking to just sell copies, they might say, oh, this is a waste of time. That's not going to transfer to anything. But to a person who understands the vibration of being an author, they know that doing podcasts is going to be a part of their lifestyle. So the person who understands that they are falling into the vibration that they want to attract is going to do the podcast. Okay, here we go. How to detach. We're here. You guys are going to hate it. Overcoming the need for validation. You have to ask yourself, how would I feel if I never got my manifestation? All the triggers will come up. Everything will come up. All the emotions will come up. So important. Because you have 2 choices. The first choice will be, you ask yourself, how will I feel if I never get my manifestation? And your mind says, my life is not worth living. Life is over. I can't even understand how I will be happy if I don't get my manifestation. Option number 1. This option is ego-based. It is your ego telling you that everything in your life is dependent on this manifestation and that you will not be happy until you have it. That is the energy. That right there is the energy that is keeping your manifestation at bay. That's what's keeping it away. Option number 2. How will I feel if I never get my manifestation? Disappointed. Sure, definitely. I'd be disappointed, but I'd be content because I have a beautiful life worth living. I want this. I really, really do. But my life is not going to end if I don't get it. Because I have faith in myself and this universe that something better will be waiting for me if this manifestation is not it. Now, I know some of you may be thinking, isn't that telling the universe that I don't want it? No, it's not. It's letting go of this vice grip you have on this idea of what you think your manifestation is supposed to be like in your life. Being disappointed but content that you didn't get your manifestation means that your manifestation is most likely a part of your soul purpose. I'll explain why. When you ask yourself, how will I feel if my manifestation doesn't happen? Feel what comes up. Feel the energy of what comes up within you. And then learn how to alchemize that energy into passion. For example, the person who wants to be a millionaire or sell 1 million copies of their book, they ask themselves, what would I do if my manifestation never happened? They can feel disappointed, but then they can think, okay, well, I have all this passion for writing. I have all this passion for sharing my perspective. It's the only thing that feels right. So I write my book, and what if I just read it to a group of people once a month? Even though that's not selling millions of copies of the book, that's taking the ego out of your manifestation. Because let's be honest, you want to sell 1 million copies, you want to be on the New York Times selling list, because those things will validate you as an author, which is fine. Validation is fine. But it comes down to emotional intelligence and recognizing these things, right? So by taking a step back from the ego and saying, let's just focus on the value I want to give, you're able to connect to that passion. And nothing brings your manifestation to you more quickly than passion. And by telling yourself, I will be fine if I don't get my manifestation, I'm still going to work towards it, but the world's not going to end if I don't get it, you are allowing yourself to step into flow. That makes manifesting easier. Because manifesting isn't you wake up and you sold 1 million copies of your book. Manifesting is a journey. Manifesting is having a clear enough mind to understand the opportunities that bring you closer to your manifestation or further away. And oftentimes it's the ego, foot's asleep, oftentimes it's the ego that gets us further away. So it's important to recognize when we're being controlled by our ego so that we can align and remember our soul's purpose and get back into a mental state where we want the whole manifestation. Because if we just want it to be on the bestsellers list, that could happen. Someone could read your book, make fun of it in a YouTube video, that YouTube video could go viral, and a bunch of people can buy your book to make fun of it. That can happen. If you work on just manifesting the New York Times bestsellers list and selling 1 million copies, you don't work on the value you're trying to give or the soul you're putting into the book. People manifest things by mistake all the time. And I know that that's kind of a scary part of law of attraction. I understand that. But it's not so scary when you start to practice emotional intelligence. And I really hope that I am articulating the importance of addressing your manifestation from a place where you understand how you are giving value to the world as well as yourself. Before you even get into how this manifestation will validate you, how this manifestation will make your life cooler. Okay? I'm not trying to be your manifestation mom and just wag my finger. I'm not trying to be. I just know from experience how draining manifesting can be if you're not coming at it from the right place. So to wrap things up, you are able to manifest whatever you want. But if you're having trouble manifesting, if you're having trouble listening for the signs, seeing opportunities, go through each of the points in this list and see where you fall emotionally on each of these points. Okay? Because you got this. I know you got this. Sometimes it just takes a little tweaking of our perspective. Okay? All right, you guys, I think that's all I have for today. I hope that you enjoyed this video because I really enjoyed making it. If you did, give it a thumbs up so other people on the internet know that it's valuable. If you'd like me to expand on anything that I talked about in this video, let me know down in the comments and I will address it in a future video. And last but not least, if you would like to join the Bendy Bunch and become a reality bender yourself, make sure that you are subscribed and that you click that notification bell so you can be notified when I make a new video. I love you so much. I'm gonna go chug the crap out of this water. And yeah, that's all I got. See you next time. Bye.